Our hearts beat to the city streets. We began to feel the fire. We rise like tall buildings as the chemicals, they take us higher. The night's young and it's just begun as she puts her hand in mine. We wanna chase the night, wanna dance to the light, pull the stars from the sky, just two hearts running wild. Never sleep, never stop, as we shout from the top. We're gonna be two hearts running wild. Now the morning is the afternoon. We lay awake in bed. The laughs so loud as the hours pass. We're gonna do it all again. We wanna chase the night, wanna dance to the light, pull the stars from the sky, just two hearts running wild. Never sleep, never stop, as we shout from the top. We're gonna be, we're gonna be two hearts running wild. The moonlight, summer sky, it was the best we ever had. And we'll stay young forever. We'll never have regrets. We wanna chase the night, wanna dance to the light, pull the stars from the sky, just two hearts running wild. Never sleep, never stop, as we shout from the top. We're gonna be two hearts running wild. We're gonna be, we're gonna be two hearts running wild.
Good evening, everyone. How's everyone doing? I just want to copy this link here. So before we start, I just want to say that, not officially, but in my head, this live stream is sponsored by Rainbow Seeds. Um, so I have a link. Rainbow Seeds is a local to New Brunswick seed company. And if you use my code, you are saving 10%. And they have a bunch of seeds. Not like cost is very, very decent. They're not worse than any other company, to be honest. And, they're made for my climate. So they should be growing better here. I will have a video coming up on that subject. I received some seeds from them and I want to talk about it. So I will not necessarily be spending too much time on the live stream talking about it because it's like not official. Well, it is official that you're getting the promotional code, just not official that the live stream is sponsored by them. They're not really sponsored by them. I just wanted to name them just because they send me some seeds and they're giving me a promotional code, which is awesome. So I hope everyone goes and take a look. And eventually I will have some seeds to give away from them. Hopefully. It might be getting too close to the end of the season for a lot of people in terms of, we all have our seeds already. We should have bought our seeds last month. But, some people might still want to buy some seeds for next year, or maybe there's something you're missing, or I don't know. Billa Whispers Farmstead. I'm trying to remember your first name. I know it has nothing to do with Bella. Bella is your dog's name, right? And I knew it was a name that I should remember, but I don't. Kristen. Okay. Thank you, Scott, for popping in. I set up my live stream. As soon as I'm done, people will be redirected to yours. Hopefully, I won't be blabbering too much tonight and actually get people to go to your live stream. I have the live stream open on my computer there, and when I'm done, I go to bed. I come in the morning, your live stream was playing. So I suppose a lot of people do that too. Hello, Billy, and thank you, Kevin. By the way, if you have, whether it's a new channel or you're looking to expand your roots in the YouTube world, don't hesitate to go and support Tuber Chat, Connect and Grow. What he does is amazing. You can meet awesome people on his live streams. He promotes the channels, and it's awesome. So Kristen, and I don't remember your boyfriend or husband's name. Thank you again, Kevin. Goodness, I can't start anything yet. Can't wait until the sun comes out and see. Yeah, for those who don't know, I think it's pretty much everywhere in New Brunswick, but we were hit with another snowstorm that's supposed to last. I think it's until like Sunday or something like that. It started last night. There was school yesterday, but like after supper, it started snowing, and there was no school today. But the roads were not too bad this afternoon. It got warmer, and it was falling more like melting snow. And right after supper, we could see the snow accumulating in the middle of the road. Hello, Darren. Yes, I will be talking about that in a minute. I'm not doing so bad. Just had some bad news, and I just don't want to let it bring me down. But things like that. They're never easy. Okay, so your husband is Michael. You're married. Awesome. Um, I wanted to talk quickly about the Eastern Ontario Homesteaders Conference that's happening on May 4th. It's happening in Danby, Ontario. We were asked to talk about it because, as YouTubers in the past, um, I'm not going to say we were not welcome because that's not true, but they wanted to focus more on the homesteading people instead of the YouTubers. But we kept talking about it a little bit in the background, wondering like why. We have the opportunity here to bring a lot of people together, and I think that's the main point. That's the main goal. As YouTubers, between like the community, we can reach out to probably 25, if not more, maybe even 50,000 people. Not everyone is interested in actually going to conference, but if we spread the word, if we talk about it, it will, eventually be known and people will want to go. So it's on May 4th, Denby, Ontario, and I'm going. Darren's going. Marie-Len's going. Little Homestead by the Beach. Tracy from TKN141 is supposed to go. Mike and Angie are going to be there, and there's going to be a lot of awesome people as well. I'm not going to name them all, but a lot of people are going to be there. Rainbow Seeds is great. I always had a great germination, and very nice people run it. They only ship to Canada, but hopefully they branch out to U.S. shipping soon. Okay, so it's good to know. If I do a giveaway, I might have to do, you know, uh, like give Rainbow Seeds to Canadians. And if it's an American, maybe like a gift card for MI Gardner or something like that. That could be arranged. You know, I think everyone in the chat is either a YouTuber or a homesteader. And even if we weren't there, we always have like this, I don't want to say plan, but this goal in life, something we want to achieve. For some people, it might be a career, and if that's what they want, that's what they want. We can't stop them from wanting that. I used to want a career. I wanted to have my own office, with a tie and a tux, and be wealthy. And I thought this was happiness. You have a lot of money, you're happy. Well, I still believe that if you have a lot of money, you can be a lot happier than most of the people that are currently not necessarily rich. But a couple of years back, everything changed. And when I started homesteading, for me, it was a way to escape life, like to escape the work life, find something to help providing for the family without necessarily working. And when the pandemic started in 2020, it allowed me to stop, take a deep breath, and go online and start learning about a bunch of stuff. And I spent the last couple of days learning some more. I'm going to put the banner. Because I was reading on orchard, like apple orchard, fruit trees in general, how to propagate them, how to use those little plastic balls to air graft apple trees and other fruit trees. I have a plan. I need to get ready, start that within the next month. Let's just put it this way. But I will be doing some videos on that as well. My goal is to have a huge orchard here. It's a work in progress. I didn't start 4 years ago to be 100% self-sufficient. We always aim the most self-sufficient as possible, but I find that we sell this lifestyle as being the only lifestyle there should be. Well, we don't necessarily promote it that way, but we keep saying how fun, how good it is. It's a lot of work, but it's worth it. There's also a lot of people that will do the work life. You know, they want to have a good job, and when they get home, have their own food, which is, you know, pretty much where I kind of stand. I know a lot of people feel that way too, where you want to have a good job, a job where you enjoy yourself, and you can actually still be home to grow your own food. Sorry. And sometimes when you're lucky, you can merge the two of them. And there was this guy working at the hospital. His name was Alan. Well, French name Alain, but let's call him Alan. Um, he's the one that gave me the bantam chickens a couple of years back. You know, he's the one that taught me about them. He kept teaching me about chickens in general before I even had chickens. It's a guy that I went to school with. He was 2 years younger than me. We were, you know, he was one of the good guys, right? Like someone that would never judge anyone. You could talk to him. He would always make you laugh. He liked talking to everyone. He was always so fun to be around. I kept telling him, um, you know, you have to stop talking. I'm always late at work. Like I would go out on breaks, and I would pass in front of his department, and he'd be out in the doorways, and he'd be talking to me like, "Hey, how's it going? How's the farm going? How's the garden going? And I purchased this kind of bird, and I'm doing this, and I'm doing that, and you should come take a look. And how's it going with you? And how's your chickens going? And you know those kind of questions, and we'd end up talking for like 15 minutes, and then I'd be late for work, right? Um, it's it was not only a good friend, but he was, you know, he was younger than me, but he was somewhat a mentor because he was always teaching me. He was always joking around, but he was always teaching me. It was always something that I could learn from him, whether it was regarding the chickens, the garden. You know, he ended up having this huge farm, a huge barn. He had rabbits, he had quails. He's the one that taught me all about quails. And I didn't see him lately because he switched job. he was he was working in the kitchen, you know, delivering food to the patients at the hospital. And he switched job. He was working with I don't even know what the department would be called, but maintenance maybe. He'd be going out, you know, cleaning the parking lot if there was a snowstorm, or you know, mowing the lawn, and those jobs that, you know, they're still fun to do when you're getting paid to sit down on a tractor to mow the lawn. It's fun. They were responsible for patching the holes in the parking lot if there was like a hole in the pave somewhere. They were responsible for fixing things inside the hospital. So I didn't see him as much lately, and I don't know how much I'm allowed to say about this, but let's just say that he called me. He had questions about, you know, payroll and that kind of stuff. I spoke to him last week, and I told him, you know, send me a message on Thursday, and I'll double check to make sure I have the information for you. So he sends me a message on Thursday, and we had a little chat on Messenger, and then I told him, you know, I'll give you a call again on Tuesday to see what's going on with your case. So I spoke to him on Tuesday, and you know, everything was going according to plan. It was good for him. Like things were settled, and it was just awaiting the paper by mail. Um, Thursday morning, another friend of mine, he's delivering the mail in the hospital, and he's like, "Did you know Alan?" I'm like, "Yeah." Like, what's wrong? Um, Wednesday, he. I'm not gonna say what happened because I don't know, and I don't want people to go with rumors and all that kind of stuff. Um, so please don't go down that rabbit hole. He passed away. He was 39 years old, and there's always people in your surrounding, that you're gonna lose along the way. And I, I lost my brother, my uncle. Those were like the worst thing I've ever been through. And I lost a couple of friends along the way after. This one was tough. I don't know why. Well, I know why, because he was such a good guy and was such a good friend, and he was always like happy and making people laugh, joking about everything. But it was never jokes that would make someone feel bad. It was never laughing at anyone. It was always like you would ask him a question and you would, joke around. You would know that he was joking. Like, "Oh, where'd you go this weekend?" And he'd be like, "Oh, well, I went up the Mount Everest," but you could never really get an answer to where he went or what he did during the weekend. Like, he was that kind of guy, always joking around, always laughing, always. It's like he knew everyone in the hospital. So it's gonna be weird going to the hospital, going back to my old job, because he basically switched job at the same time I did. So this is kind of like what I thought was the reason why I didn't see him as much, because I switched job. I thought, he's just not on my path anymore in the morning, because I don't go to the pharmacy. I go to the payroll, which is at the other side of the hospital. And then, like, I remember this one day, I thought I saw him outside. I'm like, is he like working outside now? Like, that had to be him. And then, yeah, like, I spoke to him. I'm like, "Yeah, like, did I see you outside?" He's like, "Yeah, I was there. Like, I switched job." And I figured I might be able to see him a little bit more if I went back to the pharmacy, because he's, they're usually walking around fixing stuff everywhere, all over the place. I won't see him anymore, I guess. It is one of those friends that you just know they're going to leave a hole. And anyway, it's just it's one of those things, right? Like, I don't want to start crying here or just go down. And so I said it. I'm thinking about him, and I'll move on. Hello, Dave. Thank you for stopping by. Lee, thank you so much for being here. John, thank you, everyone. Thank you, Maria. Hello, Marilyn. So, in about 40 minutes, Scott from Rambling with the Brooms is doing a huge giveaway. I think it's been on YouTube for 4 years. So once I'm done, you will be redirected to his live stream. Just so you know. Hopefully, I will not be talking for too long. I usually aim for at least an hour. Like I keep telling myself, if I go live for at least an hour, that's like the minimum requirement for me. And I always aim at least at an hour and a half. And when I can do more than that, it's always even better, right? Well, thank you there, Jennifer. Thank you so much. A new member, awesome. I'm gonna have to give you a shout out. shout out on my channel now, and you're gonna have access to a bunch of behind the scene pictures and stuff. Awesome, thank you so much. Yeah, so if you pay 99 cents, you have access to a bunch of different pictures, members only videos. You have your own little emoji down there. I give you a shout out. And if you pay the $2.99 a month, you have access to all those things, and also more photos that sometimes I will just post for like the second level of members only, and usually give you access to um, videos before the other people. So yeah, I will need to add my new logo, but you have like the black and white logo, the color logo, squash, and the little plant, little seedling. And then I think I have one at $10.99, which nobody never registered, but that one allows you to get some help with graphic designs, Excel sheets if you need to work something out with your Excel document. I will send you a Christmas card if you're that point, and might even adding some more stuff at some point. But nobody's ever done that, and of course, my friends, no matter where they are in those levels, will get help regardless, right? I've been doing a lot of thinking lately about different things I could do. Jennifer gave me a few ideas. I've been talking about a few of those things with Marilyn, Little Homestead by the Beach, as well. I was actually watching a video before the live stream about a guy from Nova Scotia with an apple orchard. I really want to get an orchard going here. I have so much wild apple trees around. There's no reason why I can't have more here. And I want to do it this summer, and I don't want to wait because I'm afraid that they will eventually cut those trees down, because they've been cutting pretty much every trees around here lately, which is kind of I was going to say it's kind of hypocrite from those big corporations to tell us that we need to cut down on certain things, and then they just go and cut all the trees. Like, if you saw the cuttings we have here, it's insane. It would probably make you cry. For $20, will you name a child for the member? For $20, if you're a member, for $20 for 2 months, I will name my next child after you, Dave. My next one. So it is my logo. I'm feeling quite special now, but it makes me want to get squash seeds started now. Yeah, don't do it now. Wait a little bit. One of the squash I love is early prolific yellow squash. And the reason I love that squash is because there are so many different ways to cook it, and it's so easy to preserve. You want to preserve it, you can dehydrate it, make some flour with it. You can freeze it, straight up freeze it. Or you can put it in the fridge for a few days and eat it like you would eat grapes or strawberries or anything like that. Just take the squash, I clean it, cut some pieces, put that in a little baggie, bring it to work, or a little container of some sort, bring it to work, and that can be my snack for the morning. It has a little nutty flavor like any other squash, and I don't know, even like the skin is actually pretty good. I can help you with that. As soon as the snow melts, we can get out. I have amazing apple trees in the back forest nobody took care for many decades. The hard part is finding other fruit trees. For 99 cents, can we get a chicken named after us? Not a meat bird, though. Cute hen. I have one that's called Ketchup. Uh, but I could call it Chicken Ocean for you. Another way that you can cook those squash is simply fry them in a skillet. In a skillet with salt, pepper, butter. It is delicious. And if you can slice them up and fry them in your skillet, as soon as it starts getting like a little golden color on both sides, it's so good. That and zucchini, it's just so good. Um, People laugh at me when I say I eat zucchinis raw, but they're actually pretty good. Like I'll take a zucchini and eat it like a cucumber, just crunch in it, and I enjoy it. It's good, and it's a lot healthier than eating chocolate and chips and all that stuff, right? Mashed squash and mix with mashed potatoes. Add some butter with salt and pepper. That's another good idea. I would just need to have some squash. If I did that, I would need to remove the skin because the kids will not eat it if if they can see that it's a squash. But honestly, most of the time the kids won't like it, or they'll eat it raw. Like most of the kids don't like cooked carrots here for some reason, so we have to cook carrots and put some aside for them. Which kind of suck at this time of year because everything we have is already cooked and slash or preserved. It's been canned, so you can guess that the carrots are cooked. But when we have fresh carrots, it's a lot better for them. They love it, and a lot of those vegetables like squash and zucchini, they'll eat it raw but not cooked. So my goal for the apples is I have one right here next to me that it right next to the community center. There's like this huge apple tree that's just like in the little hill, maybe. You have the parking lot, it goes down a bit, and then it's somebody else's property. And the apple tree is right there. There's a trail going there, so nobody really cares if I go and harvest apples there because nobody ever harvested those apples. And the first time I took a bite out of those apples, I swear I I coughed and I almost choked because of all the juice that was coming out of that apple. It was freaking good. It was so good. Honestly, one of the best apple I've ever had. They were like huge apples too. Like they were really big, like even bigger than a softball. Um, there's a few ones on my dad's property, about 2 minutes from here. I don't know what kind. It could be like Cortland. And there's another one that probably going to be better for like puree and stuff like that. I don't know the type of apples. I guess I'll have to figure it out if I want to plant some apples here. But it's something that I'm going to be working on. Showing videos and asking people to help me identify the apples. I have a few colleagues at work that are pretty good at that too. There's also behind the where the old school was here. They have a bunch of different apples. There's the guy that owns the land saw me grouse hunting. Like he was very nice. Like he didn't mind that we were there. And the only thing he told me is like, be careful if you come here. There's a lot of bears. I see bears all the time. And he's cutting woods down there, like firewood. So I know at some point he will cut those apple trees. And there are two right next to the road that are actually very, very good. They have amazing apples. And there's another one a little bit deeper in the woods that you can't see from the road that has Golden Delicious. And if you, instead of turning right, you just turn left on the same property, there's like a bunch of white apples. Like they're literally white. And if you look at my older video when I went grouse hunting, you'll see all those apples. I can just go there, put little plastic ball on them, and harvest a bunch of apple trees in about 2 months. I'm thinking actually about buying some more because the what I bought was 18 pieces. These ones, well, they're actually still good. They're still good because like they're smaller, but I can put them on smaller branches. So I would have it like 14 possibilities here, and I have 2 more in my bedroom that I purchased from. I think it was from like Wish way back in the day, and I mean they're just the same thing. They're still good. They're still going to do the job, right? You can puree cook vegetables into pasta sauce. Kids won't know. Cook carrot and stuff in puree. Yeah, yeah. I've done that like a few times, where I would cook them like in chicken broth, and then I would just put it in the blender, like make it really, I'm not gonna say liquid, but more maybe like the texture you would have with ketchup. And I told them that it was like my special gravy that they could put on their vegetables. So they would put it on their potatoes and end up like mixing it with their potatoes because they said it was good. It had little salty taste from the broth, and it was, I don't know, I guess it's better than just putting actual salt and butter on your potatoes. We can trade. You can bring some of those for me, and you can have some of my secret apple trees, and we can have a variety. Yeah. Well, my goal is to try to propagate as much as I can. And I was watching a video yesterday, and I left a comment. The guy replied, "What he does at this time of year, he'll go out and he will, trim or prune the apple trees. And let's say he cuts like a meter long branch. He'll cut that in like 4 pieces, put that in water with rooting hormones, keep it moist. And according to him, it's like 80% of those branches will actually come out into apple trees. I read that it was not possible, but according to him, it works. And he has a video where he's showing it, and I guess it works. And like I told him exactly that I read that it was not working, but I guess if you have 1% success rate, it's better than just throwing those branches out. Now, I will not be pruning wild apple trees. I will simply go try to find a nice straight branch, do my video and do those little balls there. I might buy some more just so I can have even more. And if I can make it work, I want to start an orchard here, and it's not going to be a problem if it works because I'll have infinite apple trees. There's also one place up Balmoral that I would love to go if I could go. It might be harder. I used to have my like an ATV, and I could go up there and it'd be like very easy. But I had to sell it a few years back, and now I don't think I have any ways to get there, unless I can find like maybe my brother or my cousin would like to come, and we could go there. Like those were like, I don't know if they were golden delicious or simply another type of golden or like yellow apples, but they were really, really good. I have 3 pear trees from Canadian Tire I bargained on and got for $10 each instead of $90 because they look dead. I brought them back to life, so maybe next year I can give you a branch from each. Nice. I use Ziploc bags and packing tape. Yeah, I've seen that too. The guy was talking about that, where it would take a Ziploc, fill it with soil, keep it moist, and then like whenever he would need, he would just make a hole in the plastic bag, put it around the branch. There's like a few things you need to do before, but it is doable. It's pretty easy to do, and I just can't wait to start doing it. Testing out 3-year-old seed in the Ziploc bag method with paper towel and water. See what can sprout. Hey, if they were able to sprout giant crimson tomatoes that were about 50, 60 years old, 3 years old should be working very well. I have some seeds here that are even older than that, and I plant them, and some of them grow. Like the asparagus that I have in my bedroom growing right now, I say it's about 50% the germination rate, but well, more than that. I planted like 6, 3 popped up, and then I planted. Well, yeah, that's 50%. I planted. Yeah, one of them I knew it was not gonna grow, so I planted one more. It popped up, so it's like 4 out of 7. And those seeds, I showed you those seeds a couple of live streams ago. If you look about the story, if you look at the story about those seeds, it's amazing what they can do. According to the story, those seeds were gone for more than 800 years, and they managed to make them sprout. You only need I'm gonna say 1, but you would actually need 2 to start the variety again. Some of my 20-year-old beet seeds sprouted. See, like it's doable, very doable. There was a lady here in New Brunswick selling cuttings. I like to say it was $25 for 10. I'm trying to remember exactly how much it cost. I have in mind that it was $25 for 10, and it came to me by mail. I think it was like $2 a cutting. So I purchased 10, and then there was like a flat rate of $5 anywhere in Canada, or I'm pretty sure it was not more than that. Like you needed to order at least for like a certain amount. Sorry, out of those, well, I got 11 by mail. Out of those 11, one of them died, so I still paid for 10. I ended up with 10. They all did amazing. They all started growing branches and leaves. They all had roots. I ended up bringing a few ones to the conference last year. I know Darren got one. Was it Angie? Angie got one from me in New Acres, and I have one more that I gave away to Kendra Plowman's backyard and Denby View Ranch. Like they are neighbors, and they were in live stream, and I said, "Hey, I have one more if you guys want it," and they both said yes at the same time. I'm like, "Well, I only have one, so you're gonna have to share." And they're like, "No worries, we'll I think they put it like right on the border of their property so they can both use it. I think I had like a fourth one. I'm trying to remember. I thought it was Marilyn, but could have been Annie or someone else anyway that ended up getting it. But I kept 3 for myself, and they were all doing great until the fall. So hopefully they survive the winter, and I guess they're pretty hard to kill from what I understand. Those trees are like survivors. Are you feeling sick? Always tired. Yeah. Who's not tired, right? And the season is just starting. The season is literally just starting. It's not even started for me yet. In about precisely a month, I will be in Ontario at the conference. But if things go according to plan, I will have my garden beds built before Hopefully the snow will melt at some point because I'm fed up of the snow. Um, I also want to go forage for fiddleheads again, and I also want to go for mushrooms. I'm curious. I just want to go on my dad's land and walk around and see what I can find. There might be some hidden apple trees out there somewhere that I can just go and, you know, hair graft. There might be some plants growing that I don't even know that they're growing there, and it might be, edible and very good. Um, Thomas from Life in the Valley did a video last year about wild leeks, and I would love to find some. I guess they're one of the first plant that come out of the ground in the spring. I'm also still doing my online foraging class, so that's good too. The cage I made for tomatoes, put that around your trees and berries to keep some animals from ruining them, and lawnmowers. I have a few like metal posts around them, and nobody mows the lawn in the back of the property other than me. And it's not a place where the grass grows a lot. Um, it's not like moss, but I don't know. It's not like the grass is not really growing too well. So I'm not really worried about anyone killing my trees. I have some like a few posts around them. The only thing is like the neighbor's kid um, comes around with the snowmobile and four-wheeler in summer and snowmobile in the winter, and he comes up the hill and goes around. Like I don't mind, but once I have my fruit trees there, I'm hoping that you'll notice the flags. I'll have to buy some orange flags at the dollar store or something just that I can put next to them. Not only because I want to remember where I put them, but also if the grass grows and I go try to mow the lawn around them, that I don't mow the lawn and mow them at the same time. I love foraging. Chanterelles are so good. Yeah, and I found the chanterelles I had frozen. So this is going to be something that we'll be doing this weekend, hopefully. A nice moose steak or venison steak with chanterelles. Ooh, so good. Hell, Jerry, nice to have you here. Hope you're doing well. Um, yeah, like I have some space on my property that I can't really use for much because it's a hill. It's going down a hill. Sorry, I'm not even like it's not because I'm tired. It's just because in this little room I'm yawning all the time. So it goes down a hill like this, and then there's like a little plateau for like maybe the size of the room here. And then it goes down again until the neighbor's property. And I'll be able to plant like a bunch of fruit trees there. I want to plant plum trees if I can propagate them. I also want to plant pear trees, apple trees, pear trees, plum trees, apple trees. I have a few Saskatoon berries and what else? Cherry trees as well. I don't mind planting those. But I have some already spread out on my property. But those are the three ones: pears, plums, and apples that I would love to have on that side of the property. And they're high enough that even if the apple, even if they fall on the ground, they won't roll down on the neighbor's property because I will keep like long grass there. And that would also help like the pollinators and the bugs and the critters eat something actually, because the apples will fall on the ground. I'm not gonna touch them. I'm not gonna eat them. I'm gonna leave them there. I'm just gonna get the ones that are good in the tree. So all of that is gonna be good for the birds, for the critters, for the bugs. It's also going to provide me with tons of food in the future. I keep thinking about how it's going to grow and like how long it's going to take before I can actually harvest from them. But until then, I have a bunch of wild apple trees that I can go and get some apples. The only problem is fresh apples, they don't last very long. I know they last longer in the fridge, but we don't really have any space in the fridge. I would need a second fridge, but to get a second fridge for apples, I had a second one downstairs and it broke down, and we're not going to buy a new one. I had that one for free from my uncle, and I'm not going to worry about getting another one. But I wish I could have some apples here on my property so that we can go in the morning before the kids go to school, grab a few apples there, put that in the lunch bag, and they'd be good to eat at school. We could do that for like a week or two. I have a Juliet cherry tree. Just got it last summer as a stick and really growing well. Cool. Awesome. I also want to start doing apple cuttings. From what I could see, it works pretty well. And I learned a lot in the last couple of days about videos. I pruned my apple tree, but I'm going to have to go and do it again. Well, not again, but just finish the job I started. So what is everyone doing this weekend? It's my niece's birthday tomorrow. Well, it was 2 days ago, but she's celebrating at the pool tomorrow. So this is what I'm going to be doing tomorrow morning. Tomorrow afternoon, I don't know yet. I still have to plant a few seeds. I'll be if it's not snowing, I might go for a little hike. There's also another video that I want to finish. I can probably start air grafting a few apple trees as well. It's supposed to be nice after this weekend. Sunday, my daughter is they're having like this little band at school. Like I remember when we were in the music class at school, we were playing like the xylophone. Is that a word? That little ding 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 ding, ding, the flute. That's pretty much it. We would sing and the songs sucked. Now they do all kind of stuff. They play guitar, they play drums, they play the piano, they play all kind of things, and they have a band, and they just like play for school events and things like that. But they went to a competition, regional competition, and they won. Sunday they're playing again. There's like a festival or whatever it is they have down there, and we have to go there. So Sunday, that's what we'll be doing. A little drive and go support my daughter. Next weekend, Saturday, we have a handball tournament, and Sunday the plan is to finish our wine. The wine should be good to go, and it's just a matter of putting everything in bottles and have everything ready for whenever we need it. So I'll be grabbing my stuff, bringing my wine here. We're going 50-50, my colleague and I. So it should give me about approximately 8, anywhere between 7 and 9 bottles. But from what we could see, we're pretty sure it's going to be around 8 bottles. So hopefully I'll be able to bring like 2 or 3 at the conference to share with everyone. It's probably not like really high level of alcohol. Like we're not gonna get drunk on a bottle, but if it tastes good, it's another way to preserve food or to preserve the fruits that I harvested. We need massive basement with half of it in a cellar. Yeah. Planning in zone 6B. Yeah, you're lucky. I felt like laughing at you the other day when you said you had snow coming your way. Our family spring birthdays party is tomorrow. Nice. So you have a bunch of kids together celebrating their birthday pretty much at the same time, or my oldest son is turning 16 in about a week from now. Well, in a week from now, actually, precisely a week from now, next Friday. And he was so anxious to get his driver's license that he called to make an appointment like 6 months ago. So next Friday he's going there. Hopefully, well, it's just like the beginner. We call it the beginner license. You can't drive alone. You can't drive with anyone else on board other than someone with the proper license. Uh, but I told him, like, don't expect to just take the car and go for a drive and have me pay for everything, because it's not going to happen. Guys, it's too expensive. My budget allows me to go to work and home. That's it. If he wants to, well, he's mature enough and he's smart enough. He'll pay for his own gas. I'm not worried. That's something I want to do. That's one of the things I want to do next. Brew my own beer. I have one hop plant, and I'm hoping to do even more if it can take off. The place I have it on my property, it could be taking over that little area, and it would work. So hopefully it does. Thank you. Hello, Amanda. Nice to have you here. It's been a while. You can take the test online. Yeah, you can take the test online, but if you pass the test, then you have to drive there with someone to get your photo ID and all that kind of stuff, and you need to show them all the proper documentation. So might as well just go there and do the test there, and if something happens, you can get out with a paper, get his driver's license right away, and drive back home. Then the next weekend after that, the kids are playing a tournament right here. In Campbellton, that's where I work, so it's really, really close, which is awesome. And I will have like one weekend off, which I'm hoping to be able to use to finish all I need to do here. I need to make a few garden beds. I just want to try the garden beds. I mean, if I don't like it, if it's not doing what I want it to do, I could just remove the boards, put that somewhere else on the property, and put some soil way back there and just use the garden here the way I had it before. It's just that it's full of weeds right now. I have a few I have a big, huge black silage tarp on top. Hopefully it'll kill the weeds. And it's going to be a lot easier if one of the garden bed is full of weeds and I just have to let it go. I can just take the weed eater, clean cut it, and just put a tarp on top and wait until the next year. But the way that the garden is done right now, the weeds are always crumbling in the middle. So I have to let them grow because I have all my vegetables around it. And of course, by the time you get at the end of the season, those weeds spread and they take over the garden. My sister, dad, and 2 kids in the fall, 6 people. Nice. Well, that's fun. When you can have a huge party and celebrate everyone at the same time. That's awesome. What did you miss? It depends what time you left. I spoke a little bit about my friend who passed away. I spoke about selling rainbow seeds. Sorry. So I'm putting the link in the description, and if you use the promo code, you're saving 10%. I also talked about the conference. I talked about how tomorrow is my niece's birthday. She wanted to have a pool party and pizza. So it's tomorrow morning, actually, around 10:30. I was supposed to get her a present today, but didn't happen. I wanted to go yesterday. Didn't happen. So I will have to give her money or just take her with me after lunch and go to town and get her some stuff. Maybe that's something we could do too. Sunday, Claudie won like a musical competition. She has to play again. Like there was like a some sort of a special event in Bathurst, which is about an hour away. Urban is playing. Um, yeah, then the following weekend we have handball tournament with the kids on Saturday, and Sunday we will be doing the wine. The following weekend we have a tournament in Camelton, which is right here, and the weekend after I want to start building my garden beds. And the following weekend we are heading over to the conference. Can't wait. It's feels like it was just yesterday. We were there, all of us. Uh, yeah, and Dave was bragging about being able to plant outside already. hmm I miss brewing beer, beer and wine. In 2 years, we'll have enough blackberries to do blackberry. Oh, nice. I have a bunch of grape trees here. If half of them could survive the winter, oh man, that'd be awesome. My girlfriend's cousin told me he has a bunch of grapes, and apparently, like it spreads fast. He's like, if you have that around your garden, like you might lose your garden. Well, if that happens, it's not going to be fun to lose a garden, but it's going to be fun to have a bunch of grapes. And I have other solutions for gardening. Like it's not, I don't have to have it here. I could plant a bunch of fruit trees there and garden somewhere else. I have a lot of options. Where I'm from in Ontario is grow zone 7. This zone 4 has hurt my soul. Yeah, well, if it can help, I think Marilyn is zone 3. Busy, but it's busy in a good way. Like it's it's not the time of year where I need to be in the garden removing weeds, planting seeds, and all that kind of stuff. I can plant some seeds during the week, but I'm also busy during the week. Um, we usually have our podcast recording on Tuesdays. Wednesday, I have my online foraging class. Mondays and Thursdays, I have practices with the kids. Fridays is my live stream. So really, I don't really have much time where I can plant some seeds inside right now, which is why I still have one of those trays full of soil. I keep watering it, but there's nothing planted in it yet. But that will happen tomorrow at some point. I have wild grapes. This year's number 2. They are wild. I assume it's a type of muscadine. But who knows? The birds brought them in last year. Awesome. Yeah, we have a place not too far from here on the First Nation Reserve next to the beach. They have a bunch of like weird, odd fruits growing there. Those are fruits that will grow in our zone. It's not because of that I'm saying this, but you don't usually see those fruits like next to the beach. They have blueberries. Blueberries, we don't have them around here unless you go in the woods, but you have some there. There's Saskatoon berries. Saskatoon berries, I've never seen them other than there. So there has to be a tree somewhere. I'm guessing at some point someone was eating Saskatoon berries and was giving it to the birds, and the birds dropped the poop there at some point. But apparently it grows in the wild. Apparently it grows pretty much everywhere in the forest of New Brunswick. I bought a bunch of grape last year. I want to get more this year. From what I understand, you're supposed to be able to take a cutting, plant it in the soil, and it's supposed to grow. The thing about that though is they need a lot of nutrients. They need a lot of compost. They need a very, very, very rich soil to start. Once they're established, they're good. But you need like a lot of compost up front. Sorry, Marilyn. I was not trying to make you feel bad. I was trying to help Jennifer feel better. It makes me feel better knowing that there are worse people off than me. If it can help you, Marilyn, I think it's Danielle. Um, I don't remember the name of her channel. Annie's friend. I think she's zone 2. Even worse. Yeah, me too. Although we will be going to Floralie Jouvence, I think it's called, in Quebec, which is like this huge garden center. And there's everything you need there, everything you want, everything you can imagine. I'm going there. I'm not going to have a lot of money, so I have to control myself, but hopefully I can find like a few fruit trees that I don't have here. Something different. See, that's even worse for us. Like, that's tough on my brain. Zone 8? Like, you can plant in February? I mean... I'm not saying no, but the thing is, it depends. It depends on a lot of things because I'm not going alone, and there's not going to be a lot of space in the vehicle because we have to bring Brigitte and Marilyn on our way back, and we're going to have a lot of stuff at the conference too. But let me know what you want, and if I see it, and if I have enough space, maybe I can bring some. Maybe there's some of the stuff that I already have here, and I can share. Georgia, that's close to Florida, right? I think my brother's mother-in-law is working as a nurse in Georgia. Hello, Michael. Thank you so much for being here. You were not on top. You were like under a bunch of stuff. There was a lot of stuff. Well, a couple of years back, from Ontario to Darren's place, you had a rabbit and a bunch of chickens. You had a rabbit on you, right? It was not so bad. It's not like you hated it. Okay, so it's close to Florida. So I'm not very good at the American geography because you guys have 52 states. I know where Maine is. I know where Florida is. And I know where Alaska is. Anything other than that, like Pennsylvania, Massachusetts, a little bit because I've been to Boston and I've been to Pittsburgh. That's pretty much it. Yeah. Last year I purchased some, what's it called again? Susie? Harrell Susie? What's the name of that in English? Someone said it the other day. I just don't remember. Lingonberry. So I purchased some lingonberry. I also purchased some cranberries. I have a bunch of ASCAPs here, or if you prefer honeyberries. Whenever I say ASCAPs, people laugh at me, but those are like blueberries. I'm planning on going in the forest to harvest a lot of blueberry bushes. I don't know if I'm allowed to. I'm going to have to call and ask. I know some people will say, just go and grab them, don't ask. But we have forest rangers nonstop in the woods in the summer. And they go crazy whenever they see a car, they stop them. Especially if you just go for a drive, you can be sure they'll stop you. So if we go and harvest something we're not supposed to harvest, we could be in trouble. But, if I go for mushrooms or anything like that, I can probably find a place to grab a few blueberry bushes, and I'm pretty sure they would survive better here. They would do better because of the climate and because they were raised here. And I can always look. I want to go in the spring, like as soon as the snow is melting, and I can actually go at my spot, like where I usually go for blueberries. I want to go for a drive. I want to go, um, even with the kids, to do a little bit of fishing. Look for mushrooms. Look for different plants, different fruits, different things that I could maybe see a little bit more when there's no leaves on the trees. From what I understand, Saskatoon berries are growing like very early in the spring. They're like one of the first trees to flower in the spring. Getting ready for the big grow season, planning my brains out, starting like madman. Yeah, I think I think Michael, we're pretty much all at that point. You guys down there have no snow at all. I was looking at your video today. You're like outside in the sun. You're lucky. We are in the middle of another snowstorm again. I think we had like maybe a foot of snow from November until the end of February, which is like really uncommon. Usually we'll get like 8 feet of snow around the like in that time range. We usually have like 1 or 2 storms in March. Sometimes we'll have one in like early April, and then we're done. But we've had like 5 or 6 storms in March, and we're like April 5th, and I think like this is the second storm already. And I hate it. I don't like it one bit. 2 weeks till direct so. See, I'm still like 2 months away. You guys are not nice. Not nice at all. You can find tons of stuff in the forest. Exactly. And I know where to find a bunch of lobster mushrooms. I know where to find lobsters and chanterelles, hedgehogs, mushrooms. But I want to try to find some more. Last year I found some puffballs. I'm good with shaga now. I also want to learn a little bit more about some different plants. But the thing is, when you forage, you can't just go all out and try to learn everything all at once. And what I've been doing, the approach I've been taking so far, I've been very good at it. Like, I mean, I'm still here, right? What's this? Is that like? Am I just tired, or is this just like the light reflecting? Okay. Yeah, I've been going like 1 or 2 mushrooms at a time. I'm looking at them. Okay, like these are the easy ones. This is what I need to look for. This is what they look like. Okay, if I follow these 3 to 4 steps when I harvest them, I should be good. These are the ways to identify them. And then I went like with another mushroom. I went with a puffball. The puffball can be very dangerous because there's a look-alike, especially early in the summer. That's one of the deadliest, if not the deadliest, mushroom in the world that looks like the puffball mushroom. And I know how to identify them. I know how to differentiate them. So I'm pretty sure I'm safe with that. Lion's mane is pretty easy to identify. Yes, from what I heard, but I never seen it. So as long as you don't see it, it's tough to say, okay, now my brain is good with that mushroom and I feel safe harvesting it. I've heard about stories about very experienced foragers that went to harvest a few mushrooms. I think it was on the Quebec side a couple of years back. And they ended up eating mushrooms that literally killed them. And it screwed up their liver and all that kind of stuff. And I was talking about that to my teacher, and I'm like, that kind of scares me a little bit because they were experienced and they died. So if they have the experience and they still made a mistake, how can someone new like me feel safe? And she's like, sometimes when you have the experience, you feel like you know your things. You become complacent. Is that the word? Complacent? Where you don't really follow the rules that you have to follow when you harvest any wild edibles. And if I follow those rules or those steps or um, those rules, I should be fine. Like, there could be two look-alike mushrooms, and you will not know the difference between them until you open them up. So before you eat it, you cut them in half. There are different mushrooms that might be very, very similar in terms of color and um, shapes and all that kind of stuff. And the difference will be in the spores. You just have to tap on the top of the cap and see the spores falling. If the spores are white, it's a specific type of mushroom. If the spores are yellow, it's another type of mushroom. You have to know those things, but if you don't go all out at once, it's a lot easier to learn one or two at a time than just go all out and try to learn everything at once. We've been to school. Pretty sure everyone in the chat has been to school. We know what the challenges were. You know, it was not hard when the teacher was telling you the capital of Canada is Ottawa or the capital of the United States is Washington. But if you go and try to learn all the states at once, it might be a little bit more confusing. Eventually you get there, but if you start with one thing at a time, one letter at a time, you'll end up being able to read, right? You take one step at a time, you'll be able to run. And that's the way I feel about any wild edibles. But in the spring, I really want to try to find some morels. And I'm pretty sure by the time we get to the conference, it's going to be too late. But I can still go here and try to find some here. I want to find some wild leeks. I want to harvest some of those blueberry bushes and bring them here. So those are my goals. That and planting an orchard. I want to use those hair grafting plastic balls and try to air graft, or I think it's called air layering, a bunch of fruit trees and try to propagate them as much as I can. Sometimes you'll order from specific companies and they make you sign a contract that you can't propagate their plants. I think it's like in the fine prints of pretty much all the nurseries, but they're not saying anything about the wild plants. I can go and propagate a bunch of wild apple trees. They can't do anything. They were probably planted before the stores were open. I could see some bare spot yesterday. Mostly have a foot of snow remaining everywhere, but I had hope. Now, yeah, there was like a good 5 feet wide and maybe like 15 feet long of grass that we could see in front of the house, and that's gone. It's gonna melt quickly though. We're supposed to have like +9 with the beautiful sun on Monday. We have a ton of beauty berries, and you can make beauty berry jelly. I have no idea what beauty berries are. Beauty berries. Really? That's cool. How to grow and care. I didn't even know about that one. Bioaffordable. It's probably growing in your zone, though. It's probably not growing up here. California. Is it talking about it somewhere? Dry day, we are down 70% humidity. Probably lower outside. Wow. Beauty berry zone. What zone is beauty berry? 6 to 11. So we can't even have that here. I figured. I was talking about Monday. Just so you know, um, the eclipse is not going to kill you. A lot of people are going crazy over this, buying a bunch of stuff, being afraid. Oh, what happens if my kids look outside? Look, nothing's gonna happen if your kids look outside. It's not like in the movie The Bird Box, where as soon as you look outside, you die. That's not how it happens. The danger is looking straight at the sun, and it's the same danger as looking straight at the sun during the regular day. The only difference is it's an event that doesn't happen often, and people are going to be drawn to it. And that's where the danger is, because if you don't protect your eyes, then that could be a danger. But the eclipse itself is not going to do anything bad. They were talking about, what do I do if my dog goes out? My dog goes out and she barks at the planes, but she's not going to look up at the sun. If she goes outside and it's dark, okay. Like, people are afraid it's going to be dangerous. They're closing schools because they think it's going to be dangerous. I go to work from November until February, and it's dark outside in the morning. The eclipse is just going to make it darker outside. That's all that's going to happen. Some people were afraid that the ray of light, the sun rays, were going to be stronger. No. If something happens, it's going to be lower. You just imagine it's a light and you put something in front of it. That's all that's going to happen. People can relax about that. No need to worry. All right. Well, an hour and a half or an hour and 20 minutes if you prefer. I've been on for long enough for tonight. It's been like a rough week. By the way, Marilen, I found this. I'm trying to put it so that the light doesn't affect it. That's a card that I can plant. I didn't plant it yet. There's a bunch of seeds in there. I'm going to have to plant it. I took it out because I want to make sure I don't forget. And I remember to plant it this year. It's right there. Hopefully I'll remember. Maybe a swarm of locusts or two also. In my opinion, animals do not have the same inquisitive mentality as humans. Doubt they look at the sun intentionally. If they do, they look away quickly as if auto-programmed to do. Yeah, like, people will be looking because they're curious, and that's the only danger, really. Don't look straight at the sun, regardless if there's an eclipse or not. Like, you shouldn't be looking at a bulb light. If I put the light on, I shouldn't put my eyes close to the light. Same thing. Yeah. Exactly. I remember now, there was one when I was young. We were going out of school too. I don't remember if they canceled the school for us. I don't remember school being out, but I don't remember really caring about it. It was just like a partial one, but it was something. But it's gonna be cool for the kids if they can witness it. If they have like a bunch of glasses and things they did at school, so hopefully they can do it and they can they can film it for me. It'd be nice. No, sorry, I got lost with all the other seeds, and you know what happens in the spring, is just too busy and I forgot it, but I have it here. It's gonna go in the soil as soon as I can. I'm even gonna put a little space in my greenhouse for them. All right, so I'll let you guys go. You will be redirected to Scott Rambling with the Brooms live stream. And yeah, go check him out. Go show him some love. If you don't want to stay, well, give him a thumbs up. Stay for at least 30 seconds and have some fun. I'm still smart enough. I haven't hit a Typod yet. Yeah, today's generation, right? All right. Take care, everyone. And if you're going over to Scott, see you there in a minute. Bye.